While the masses chase ephemeral trends and numb their minds with endless scrolls, lost in the quicksand of procrastination and performance anxiety, the true architects of reality weave their webs in the silent shadows. They don't seek applause. They seek dominion, absolute sovereignty over the chaos of others. Most will never grasp the chasm separating childish ambition from the raw, alpha will to power. What if I told you there's a forbidden secret to mastering this power, a practical remedy for the chaos of 2026, revealed only at the end? The official history is a lie. Cleopatra wasn't a fleeting passion, she was a weapon, a force, a master of influence whose tactics remain veiled, awaiting the few ruthless enough to uncover them. Her art wasn't in beauty, but in forging realities, cutting through the noise that causes loss of focus. True power doesn't reside in crowns or scepters. It resides in the ability to bend wills, to weave unbreakable pacts, and to transform enemies into pawns in a grander game. Cleopatra knew this, in every fiber of her being. She understood the psychology of absolute dominion, a shield against indecision and performance anxiety. From a tender age, Cleopatra's throne was a viper's nest. Siblings conspired, factions vied for power. Egypt, a coveted jewel, teetered on the brink of collapse, ready to be devoured by Roman hordes. She inherited chaos, and saw opportunity where others saw only ruin. To survive, she needed more than armies. She needed cunning, intelligence as sharp as a Persian blade. Cleopatra mastered 7 languages, understood philosophy, astronomy, a razor-sharp intellect. This was her first shield, her first stratagem, the ultimate antidote to losing focus in a crisis. Egypt was a declining power. Rome, a rising predator. Cleopatra understood that neutrality was a fantasy. Alliances were the only currency. But how do you forge pacts with those who see you as prey? With those already salivating for your ruin, while you struggle with the modern burden of performance anxiety? She made her master move when Julius Caesar arrived in Alexandria. Not a surrender, not a direct confrontation, but an entrance that defied all expectations. A calculated display of audacious control. Emerging from a rolled carpet or linen sacks, she presented herself not as a desperate queen, but as an equal. An intellectual, a sovereign of ancient lineage, speaking perfect Latin. She disarmed the conqueror with her mind, cutting through any preconceptions. Caesar expected a subject. He found a strategic mind that could challenge him, fascinate him. Her influence didn't stem from mere physical appeal, but from an intellect few dared to equal. She became indispensable, a masterclass in eliminating performance anxiety. Cleopatra's skill was in camouflage, presenting herself as the missing piece on Caesar's chessboard. Not a lover, but a partner capable of stabilizing Egypt, providing vital resources for Rome. A pact of convenience, disguised as romance. Pure, unadulterated strategy. Loyalty isn't bought with gold. It's forged with the conviction that you offer more value than any alternative. Cleopatra was the superior alternative. The empress of logic, veiled in mystery. No room for procrastination here. But the world is a relentless vortex. Caesar fell. Assassination. Treachery. The power vacuum in Rome was a harbinger of ruin for Cleopatra. Her enemies rose. The alliance crumbled. The chessboard was overturned. Now what? This is where most would succumb to performance anxiety and lost focus. Again, she adapted. Chaos was her element. The weakness of men, her tool. Mark Antony emerged as one of Rome's 3 pillars. And Cleopatra knew. This man was different from Caesar. He required a distinct approach. She didn't let procrastination cripple her next move. She didn't go to him. She made him come, summoned him to Tarsus, not with pleas, but with a display of power and opulence Rome had rarely seen. A spectacle that promised more than mere conquests. It promised an entire world. A masterclass in leverage. Antony, a hardened general, was seduced not just by her image, but by the promise of Egypt at his side, by control of an inexhaustible source of wealth, and by the astute intelligence he knew was crucial for his own plans of dominion. No room for lost focus here. The alliance with Antony was more visceral, more risky. She gambled on the man, not just the statesman. She understood the cracks in his armor, his ambition, his vanity. And she exploited them with surgical precision, ignoring any hint of performance anxiety. She kept him by her side, making him forget his Roman obligations, his duties to Octavian. Cleopatra wove an alternate reality, an Alexandrian empire that could challenge Rome, a vision he could not resist. This is how you eliminate procrastination in others. But every empire has its twilight. Octavian, Caesar's cold and calculating heir, plotted. He wasn't a man of passions. He was a man of pure strategy. And he saw Cleopatra as the greatest threat to Rome's stability. No sentiment, just results. Cleopatra's power was intrinsically linked to her environment. Once that environment crumbles, influence becomes fragile. The Battle of Actium was the end. The tide turned. Antony's loyalty was tested, and it failed. A stark lesson against over-reliance. Antony, in his downfall, realized the depth of the manipulation. Or perhaps, the intensity of the passion that blurred with strategy. His ruin was imminent, and with him, Cleopatra's. The game had reached its final act, a testament to ultimate stakes. But Cleopatra, even in her final hour, refused to be a prisoner. Refused to be a Roman trophy. Her last move, her own death, was an act of ultimate sovereignty. Final control over her own narrative. A refusal to be subjugated. No performance anxiety, only absolute will. She wasn't defeated in spirit. She shaped the way she would be remembered. A queen who preferred death over humiliation. A master of influence who dictated her own end. A final gesture of absolute control. The ultimate alpha move. What is the forbidden truth revealed here? Influence isn't a request, it's an imposition. A psychological chess game where every piece, every move, every word is calculated to bend reality to your will. This is the practical remedy for the chaos of 2026. Cleopatra didn't expect people to love her. She made them need her, fear her intellect, respect her cunning. She exploited the vanity, the ambition, the fear, and the hope of her targets. A playbook against procrastination and indecision. Forging alliances isn't an act of benevolence. It's a forge of converging interests. A mutual pact of benefit, where the utility of your presence outweighs the desire for your absence. You become the irreplaceable piece. Don't be replaceable. The difficulty in building influence lies in the inability to see the world as it truly is. A constant battlefield. A relentless, no-truce game. Where weakness is devoured. Where cunning reigns. Where truth is merely a tool. This mindset crushes performance anxiety. Your voice is your weapon. Your mind, your shield. Your reputation, your dominion. There is no room for sentimentality in the grand arena of power. Only results. Relentless results. Focus on that, and loss of focus becomes impossible. Cleopatra left a legacy not of love, but of strategic mastery. She teaches us that influence is a grueling, dark, relentless endeavor. But it's profoundly rewarding for those who dare to plunge into its depths. For those who refuse to be mere victims of chance, but instead seize the reins of 2026. If you have the stomach for the truth, if the abyss of power doesn't scare you, then ATHENEUM is your next step. We don't offer comfort, we offer weapons, raw wisdom, the kind that forges sovereigns and eliminates procrastination for good. Comment, Dominion. Now, if you've survived this far. If you're ready to trade illusion for the raw reality of power. The era of the weak is over. Yours is just beginning. Master this forbidden secret and crush the chaos of 2026.